Good morning. I want to talk to you today about my favorites for March, what I'm getting into, what I'm loving, what I'm learning, reading, enjoying, all that jazz. So let's start first off, coffee first, with my spirit animal. I want to talk to you first about neroli oil. It's one of my favorite essential oils. I found out about this like over 10 years ago when my mom took me to Arizona for an amazing vacation, and I found this there. I had gotten like a really awesome facial out there and massages, and they used a lot of this, and the smell immediately connected me to Arizona. So now every time I smell it ever since, it immediately brings me back to that inner peace I found out there, and just centers me. So I use this on my wrist. It's expensive. It is so expensive. Like this little jar, they only fill it up halfway. They don't even fill it up full because it would be like crazy expensive. But either way, neroli, it's it's in a lot of like facial like moisturizers, serums, some of the fancy stuff. It smells really good. It's very, not earthy, but something. It just, anyway, for me personally, it just connects me back to Arizona and that desert vibe, and that, oh, just so good. But I use it on my wrist. It's basically like my daily perfume. I don't use it daily, but almost every day. And it's so, I don't know. It's just amazing. It's high vibe there. And it's connected to your sacral, heart, and crown chakra. If you work with that, I haven't really worked with it per se. I just put it on my wrist and I smell it, and I just go about my day, and I smell like a freaking amazing orange blossom flower. So, which is what that is. And then the other one is for all the moms, well, not just moms, everybody. As soon as you start to feel cruddy in your throat, if you have, especially when you have kids and they get sick all the time, and like even like toddlers, daycare kids. I even used this on my dad yesterday because he's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "You're not feeling well? Take this." This is oil of oregano. It was kind of hard to find. I had to go to a really awesome local nutrition store here that does all kinds of cool little, it has to kind of be off the wall, and they had it. And basically you do, my sister-in-law, she was the one who told me about this. So as soon as you start to feel any sort of, you feel off at all, you feel like you could potentially be coming down with something, you go home, put 3 drops of this in like a shot glass size of water, and just throw it back. Try not to let it hit your lips. Yes, it's going to taste like you just ate like 5 pounds of spaghetti meatball sauce, but it's good. It will keep you flying high, especially this is for like colds, anything in your throat you're feeling, even like now I've been having to take it. I just felt like something was coming on, and this stuff is amazing. It's not for daily use. You're not preventative. It's only when you feel cruddy, and then take it for a few days and then move on. So those are my little essential oil thingamajigs, medicines for the day or for the month, to help you guys out in case you didn't know. Also, activated charcoal, you take that like 1 or 2 a day for any stomach bugs, since it's kind of still winter time. It'll help just keep you, it's like a first line of defense. Oil of oregano and activated charcoal pills. It is like first line of defense, keep you guys healthy so you can do all the things you love to do. And alright, so also the books I'm enjoying. Alright, this one just came in yesterday. This is Tarot and Astrology. I am super huge. I found tarot because of studying the crap out of astrology. I'm by no means an expert, but I've been reading all kinds of crazy books. Crazy. I've been reading like the ancient, like when they talk about the ancient astrologers and what they believed. I've been reading those. I've been reading books that are over 50 years old. I've been reading, which you talk about how the more modern astrology books are much more peppy, much more positive, much more, the new agey vibe has a lot more spirituality involved. And they talk about how the old stuff is like, oh, your planet's here, you're gonna die. Or your planet's here, you're gonna have a bad life. Oh, this is bad luck. And it's kind of true. Like some of the older things, all the older books, it's like everything's bad luck. I'm like, okay, no, not everything is bad luck. So I'm just like, move it on. But they're useful for in general. Just when it comes to like your life path, life purpose, soul purpose, your gifts, your challenges in your life based on your astrology chart. The newer stuff is probably a little bit better, and actually we'll come to that too. But so I haven't started reading this yet. It has a lot of really great reviews though. I'm going to just see what it has for me, and I'll review it later. But anyway, I just want to show you guys it's out there because these combine so beautifully, and I eat it up. So yeah, Corinne Kenner. I got this, yeah, Amazon. And then I wanted to show this to you guys. I read this last year. She has a really good book called Sun Signs and another book called Love Signs. You can see I got it from a used bookstore here. This is Star Signs by Linda Goodman. There's a few things I don't agree with in this, and it talks about, like, one of the things is you shouldn't charge money for astrology or tarot readings, which it's okay to write books on and sell and make money on, but I'm just going to throw out, yeah, the cons of the book. There's a lot of good wisdom though, aside from that. So I'm going to say, if you're a spiritual person, don't be afraid to charge for what you love to do. That, you know, you're coming from a heart-centered place. Do not feel bad. Don't feel guilty. There's already enough guilt about having to be like a starving artist, or you're not allowed to make money. Like everyone else, every other profession's allowed to make money doing what they do and love to do. And then, like, oh, if you're a spiritual person and you like to heal people, don't charge. Like, that is ridiculous. But aside from that, this book was written in the 80s. I haven't read Sun Signs or Love Signs, I will say. I've read excerpts and, you know, little bits here and there. And it is, from what I read, it is good. I just haven't made time for it, we'll say. But she talks a lot about numerology. She talks about, there's a lot of astrology guidance in here, lexigrams, which I found very, very fascinating. There's a lot of amazing spiritual wisdom in this, and she's got a lot, at the back of it, there's a lot more, there's like a list of books. If you want to continue on this spiritual journey and learning more about esoteric things, really cool books in the back. It's kind of crazy. Some of it's crazy, but it's, I found it very fascinating. So anyone who is wanting to learn more, this book is really good. Even aside from like some of the things I don't agree with, but even she says you don't have to agree with everything. You know, pass everything you read, pass through your own inner guidance system, your own inner guidance system. That's from the Lumina Tarot book, which is really cool. But pass it through your own like inner truth and just see how it sits with you. So which I like, but yeah. So some things I definitely don't agree with, but a lot of this stuff is like very eye opening. So don't be afraid to get this one. This is very, very fascinating on many, many levels. Very eye-opening. And then my other book, Angelus Arian, the Tarot Handbook. She's got a few more. This book is actually based. Well, this is basically tarot and astrology. It talks about life path, personality numbers, growth number, or yearly growth numbers, cards. You got your life path card. Personality card if you have one. This book is absolutely amazing. This is what was first recommended to me by Deborah Silverman, who's another astrologer, and she's like, if you're wanting to learn about tarot, because these all combine, these all come together. This was what she recommended, and I absolutely fell in love. Now this is using the Thoth cards, but this is combining astrology and tarot. Which, this book is hardcore. This book is amazing. Every tarot reader, lover, yes. Even if, I'm a Rider-Waite girl, so I don't use Thoth, and I'm not planning on it. But with that said, this still works. It's still, like, the insights in this with, for tarot, it still applies to the Rider-Waite to me as well. So, but I wanted to get this too just to see if it has had any more, you know, I wanted to see this perspective in this book, which is why I got it. So this is a great little just handbook. This has given me insight into, so let me show you. So here's some of the minors. So the Ace of Cups, and it's like a page each, and then she has a really cool little, you know, like flashcard style in the back, just to like jog your memory for things if you know, without having to go back if you don't have time to read a whole page. So you can, yeah, here we go. So it has like a little paragraph for each of the cards after she dives into it, you know, in the front. It's amazing. It is freaking amazing. Yeah, so tarot symbols from a psychological, mythological, and cross-cultural perspective. I don't know why she went with the Thoth over the Rider-Waite, other than I don't know. I mean, it's all Golden Dawn based-esque, right? But either way, you can still be a Rider-Waite lover and use this for your Rider-Waite expertise learning. I'm sure it'd help for anyone who loves Thoth. It would help as well. Maybe probably even Marseille. I don't even know. But either way, this book I highly recommend. This is. I like how it's almost like just like a quick user manual that you can flip to what you need to get to. It's it just page for each card. You can find what you need to know. In the life path is the life path cards. Learning about your gifts, your challenges, how it correlates to all the other cards. So my birth card is the Empress, and then so all the threes in the minor arcana are either gifts and challenges, and it helps just incorporate all that mix. And then so if you know about astrology, I mean with this book you'll be learning more about astrology. It just combines and it just gives you deeper knowledge about yourself, about it just fits so beautifully. So anyway, all right, so all that aside, I got the Lumina Tarot and the Connected and Free Oracle deck by Inner Hue, and it is amazing. Here's a box. This is the newest edition. It's got the bigger box. I did like how the first edition had the smaller tech box. I like that. I like this kind of boxes. But anyway, with that said, this is the Lumina. Here's the backing. This cardstock is amazing. I have become such a cardstock snob, and I appreciate it. This deck is beautiful. I think it's one of my, without having worked with it for a few days now, I mean, just came in. It might be one of my soul decks. The artwork, who is it? The Tiger's Abyss. On his YouTube channel, he talked and said it was like if the Fountain and the Wild Unknown had a baby. And so, anyway, I'll show you some of the cards. She has, for all the major arcana, has the astrological symbol for it. So Mars on the tower. This is a beautiful tower. And her use of color is amazing. It's kind of pippish on the minors to me. But either way, I found it fascinating. It's going to be very intuitive. So for me, for some of these minors, there's the 3 of Pentacles. I'm not going to show you all the cards. I love this 7 of Wands. So I was like, oh, I like that. That's interesting. Very interesting. Death. That's gorgeous, isn't it? What was I going to say? Here's a Ace of Pentacles. So it's beautiful. Yeah, so it's like the Wild Unknown. Is very obviously wild to me, darker, more untamed. It's a very just like the wilderness of it aspect. And this feels like it has a little bit of Venus, a little bit of beauty, a gentle touch added to it. It's not. I don't know. There's more beauty added to. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like as if it has a little bit more of the Empress. Had a little bit more say-so in this deck. I love that 10 of Swords. Here's the Hangman. So it's got the pops of color. Look at this Hierophant. It's got, the great use of color. And it's beautiful. The people in it are beautiful. It's just a beautiful deck. Honestly, it is like the Empress got a hold of the Wild Unknown and added some flavor to it. I love the Wild Unknown. It obviously has its place, and sometimes, but that one I still feel like that landscape of it, that world of the Wild Unknown, I'm still learning it, and it didn't immediately click with me. I'm very intrigued by it, but this deck gives me that gentle, more just beautiful 8 of Wands. There's gentle beauty added to this that the Wild Unknown doesn't have. Where the Wild Unknown is very stark, this has a more feminine touch, if that makes sense. But not in a bad way. Oh, I love the 6 of Wands. Six of Wands, 6 of Swords. There's plenty of room for both. But sometimes I just want a really beautiful deck. I just want something that is so gorgeous to the eyes that doesn't, I don't know, it's still impactful. I love this. So many of these cards, I just love. It's powerful. It's very powerful. It evokes a different emotion than the Wild Unknown. And I like that. I like how the snakes are in the cup suit. way. And hawks are in the swords. It's just, yeah, these people are powerful. It's empowering. The colors are gorgeous. It just sings to my soul. It sings to my soul. There. It sings to my soul. Versus like the Wild Unknown, I'm like, oh my gosh, do I know you? You're a little scary. But, you know, I kind of want to get to know you, but I don't know what you're going to do. So, there's that. I will do a full flip through this down the road at some point. I don't know if I'll do one like as an unboxing or not, but something to that nature. And then here is the Connected and Free. Let me show you these books. Awesome little guidebooks. This is a great little book. It doesn't talk about the actual symbols used, but it has great little keywords. And the beginning of it, when she talks about your intuition, your inner guidance system, and getting connected to the tarot cards and getting connected to yourself through the tarot cards, was very beautiful. I was like, ooh, I read that last night. I was like, this is a nice little book. I love it. And that's the other thing. So the Tarot Handbook by Angela Sarian and these other tarot books, these standalone tarot books, those are great. Those are great for learning tarot. But the other thing I feel like everyone needs is, you know, get really good guidebooks with these tarot decks. They're super good. It's necessary even to help broaden your perspective, to help. I was thinking like the Shadowscapes guidebook by Barbara Moore. It's amazing. It's very poetic. It has great little keywords, and then it has this beautiful little story with the cards, and it's just, you feel the energy with it. And then the Bonefire Tarot, that guidebook, and you get Gabby, the creator, you get her perspective on the cards, and I can feel the shadow side, and I can feel the heightened, enlightened side of the cards even more, especially the shadow. She really brings the downers, the downside of the cards, but it just blends into this beautiful pot. And the melting pot of the perspectives and the meanings and the depth. And then the Tarot of the She, which is a quick little guidebook, but it really hit home too. So the journey. So, you know, get some Rachel Pollack, the 78 Degrees of Wisdom, and I don't have that book, but that one's highly recommended for all tarot lovers. You know that, or everyone should know that. But I did get her Spiritual Wisdom. I wanted to read that one first. I haven't even read the 78 Degrees of Wisdom, but that's okay. I was like, I have these other books, these standalone books to read, but you can read those standalone tarot books, and then also really, you know, have like a deck or two that has a great guidebook to help you feel the perspective of that particular deck. Even, I guess, even if it didn't have a good guidebook, it could still be amazing. Just seeing the cards and learning the cards and letting your intuition guide you. But that, you know, a really good guidebook with a good tarot deck will help. So with that said, the Lumina Tarot, very good as well. I like her. I love, and she has shadow aspects too with those cards. It's beautiful. It just broadens the understanding and the meanings, and I love it. So with that said, I'm a very picky Oracle deck purchaser. I'm very picky. I realize I'm like, I like a particular thing. And that, I don't know how else to explain it. Hold a second, I need more coffee. Yeah, I want especially with tarot decks, I realize I really like the ones that are more otherworldly, that connect me to like other worlds. Just, you know, something, the juiciness, it's not just flat, which, you know, there's so many tarot decks out there, none of them are. It's probably hard. It's probably easier to find something that has all that depth than it is to find something that's flat. But the same with my Oracle decks. I need something that really hits me. It doesn't necessarily need to be like dark or, you know, hard hitting, but just something that really gives me insight into myself or for others. And here's the healer card. And by the way, the Lumina, here's the back. And so they go so well together. The Oracle deck's just a little bit longer or taller. The cardstock is amazing. The cardstock. I am a cardstock snob. I have accepted my fate. And again, the use of color here, she does just so beautiful. And what I love about this, so I have the Mystical Wisdom Oracle deck, which I love, but I always feel the need to have to look at the guidebook, which is fine. That's totally fine. I don't feel, my intuition doesn't really pop up just looking at the art. I like to read the message, but the messages are so good in that little guidebook for mystical wisdom. And this one, I have found it speaks to me before I even look at the guidebook. Not that mystical wisdom doesn't. I love that deck, by the way. It's so always on point. But this, I love this card. Intuitive and psychic prowess with the octopus. She's got chakra cards in hand. And the little keywords, the art, it hits me. And she talks about how, like, you should be able to get a different meaning from these cards every time. Let your intuition speak to you looking at these cards. And then at the guidebook. And on top of that, for the guidebook, so these cards are not numbered. And even though they have the keyword, she does not put these in alphabetical order in the book. So you kind of have to go swimming around in the guidebook. And I like that. It's making you not depend on the guidebook. She wants you to let your intuition speak to you. And it does. My intuition is on fire with this oracle deck. And I'm so excited to have it in my collection. This is, for an oracle deck, I think this is also my soul deck. A soul oracle deck. Oh, and the way it feels, I mean, it's got to feel so good. So, and this is a card for parents. I've pulled this card quite often. Just even doing like twice a day, I've pulled this up a few times, and it makes me so happy. It just reminds, especially for parents, it reminds us, slow down, enjoy every moment with those sweet little babies. They grow up so fast. I don't want to show you all the cards and ruin it for anyone who is thinking about getting it, but it is amazing. And I have, let's see, I think that's everything for right now. I do have, I like that conflict card, isn't that cool? And then, the cardstock is thick and smooth and matte, and it shuffles like a dream. I like to be able to meditate shuffle. I hate gloss, and when it's glossy or sticky, it just takes away from being able to shuffle and meditate and really get into your questions and readings. Soul knowing, isn't that gorgeous? And there we go. So, highly recommend. It was really fast shipping. I think it was less than a week, even, from Australia to the East Coast. And one more, I spoiled myself this month. One more, Tarot of Vampires. I don't know if I would have gotten this deck as soon as I did. It was on my wish list. I specifically got this deck for the book, the Phantasmagoria, which I have not read yet, but everyone recommends it. And again, that's another thing. That's why, get your standalone tarot books are really recommended by the community, but then also know that the books that come with some of these decks are outstanding. And this is a thick little book. And honestly, it doesn't matter. Page numbers, the number of pages in these books, it doesn't matter, because little books can be, boom, they can just hit you hard. I don't care how long it is necessarily. I care, is it good? Is it going to up level my game? Am I going to go super saiyan with my tarot wisdom and knowledge? And is it going to light up my intuition and help me get deeper meanings on these cards? That's about all I care about. Is it going to help me move along on my journey? So I can already, without my first glance at this, so you get the essence of the card, the message, the analysis and symbolism. So the Tarot of Vampires, I'm not going to run through it right now, but it's dark. It's vampires. I love it, but I don't know if I would necessarily have gotten it, even though it will have a place. It will have a time and a place when it need to be used. But I really wanted to read this book, so I figure, I buy books. I mean, it was worth it. So it's like, okay, I'll get a tarot deck and I'll, use it down the road, but I needed this Ian Daniels book, which is amazing. It's this is why it's so important to have an amazing book that helps us tarot lovers expand on our journey and our path with the tarot, and then have a really great deck along with it, which I dropped some of the cards. Let's see, Prince of Skulls, and Daughter of Skulls. Yeah, the cardstock's fine. Here's the backing. Yeah, it's dark and beautiful and romantic and erotic in a sense and sensual. And I was like, I don't know if I was ready for a dark, dark, dark deck yet. But I mean, I love Interview with a Vampire as much as anybody, right? I can relate. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited about the book. So I hope that's helped you guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Yeah, I'm having so much fun. So I just need to let you know what I'm into. I hope this has helped. And I hope you guys have a great day.